the 25 best albums of 1969. My name is Joe. These are just opinions. I am Joepinionated. 25 albums, 1969, no problem. Cutting albums, difficult. I have all the honorable mentions in the description below. Also, the playlist on my channel for the top 100 songs from 1969. Once again, playing to choose from. Number 25, 4-star album. I'm going with Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Self-titled, 1969. You know these guys, Buffalo Springfield, the Byrds, the Hollies, 1969's year, Woodstock, where they played with Neil. This one has Helplessly Hoping on it. What else do I need to say? They are renowned for their harmonious blend of folk and rock, pop. Number 24, going with self-titled again, Santana, 4 stars. This sounds exactly like Santana whole way through. Just tons of Santana, rocking out, monster guitars, great drums on this one. 69, Woodstock, Santana killed at Woodstock. Number 23, I'm going with Mr. Chesthair, Herbie Mann. The song is Memphis Underground. And Herbie Mann's he's a flute guy. I'm sure that all rap DJs and engineers know this. Herbie Mann, real funky flute tracks, great for sampling, and hold your attention the whole way through. They're really great albums. There's a bunch of them. The more chest hair on the cover of the album, the better. Shout out to Brian. Gave me a whole bunch of records years ago, and that was very nice. And Herbie Mann was in there. Started listening to Herbie Mann. Number 22 comes from Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Everyone knows This Is Nowhere. Ralph Molina, Billy Talbot, Danny Whitten, good old Neil Young. And 1969 is right at the start for Neil. Boy, did he blow up big and blow up quick. Crazy Horse, obviously still kicking to this very day. And Neil, still kicking to this very day. Respected Canadian, Neil Young. Number 21, Respected Brits, the Rolling Stones. The album in 1969 is Let It Bleed, one of their best from the Rolling Stones. Charlie Watts, Bill Wyman, Mick Taylor, good old Keith Richards, and Mick Jagger. This album had, I believe, Gimme Shelter, Midnight Rambler, Can't Always Get What You Want. They're pretty good. Rolling Stones, that speaks for themselves. And it's 1969, so many years. That would actually be the best album, many years. Just put that out there. 69 is a really good year. Number 20, we're going with another 4-star record from Townes Van Zandt. Going with Our Mother, The Mountain. Charlie McCoy in the band there. I'm pretty sure he was on that Ween record. Willie Nelson appears on the record. Bobby Woods. A lot of cool Ween guys on these records, so I will point those out. But Townes Van Zandt, one of the GOATs. It's kind of like almost like a Hank Williams figure, where not as big, obviously, but I came to like Townes Van Zandt after getting into John Prine. Poncho and Lefty, he wrote that one. And Townes, I'm pretty sure, had a few records this year, and this one was my favorite of those. Number 19, from I believe Rio de Janeiro, I'm going with Gal Costa, and that self-titled album, Brasileira, Bossa Nova, Brazilian beats, very cool, very pretty. This wasn't on my radar till the deep dive. I'm excited to listen to more of her records going forward. Up next, from Toots and the Maytals, Sweet and Dandy, huge record. Toots Hebert, Jerry Mathis, Henry McCartney, that's Hinner, Bread, Toots, is Ralph McCarthy, Ralph Toots McCarthy, Jamaican band, my favorite Jamaican band, Toots and the Maytals. Really cool, really killer stuff. These records are deep. They are complete albums. I think I have, is it greatest hits? I can't even tell, because their records are every one of them is great, start to finish. I don't even know if, I think one of the ones I have is the greatest hits. Because Pressure Drop, I'm pretty sure, was on a later records here. Or was that 5446? I forget. Anyways, forget it. That's a great album. 4 stars. Next up, this one was a surprise for me, the Kinks. Arthur, or The Decline and Fall of the British Empire. 4 stars. Dave Davis, Ray Davis, Mick Avery, Peter Quaife. London, England, the Kinks, all kinds of fun. Great album. Another one I'm on the hunt for after listening to again for the deep dive. Number 16, David Bowie, Space Oddity. Usual suspects of Dave, Mick Ronson. David Bowie, one of a kind. Best album? Nope. I gotta do a Dave Bowie albums ranking episode. Maybe I'll just do it tier list style and throw it up that way and save myself from listening to absolutely every record. I could put like didn't listen to a couple and just get that out there. Because I still haven't heard every David Bowie record. I have not. I do like them all. I like all the ones I've heard. So I'm not afraid of any of them. I'll listen to them. But Space Oddity, not one of my favorite ones. Some of them are a little hit and miss for me, anyways. I appreciate it every time; it's great. But some of them are very specific to specific headspaces or moods. I find, anyways, Space Oddity, or how many drugs? That was a thing, right? Number 15, a 4-star record. Joe Cocker, exclamation mark, by Joe Cocker. No explanation. Exclamation mark. Couple of decent players on this one. Jimmy Gordon, for sure. Jim Gordon and Leon Russell, Chris Stanton. And these Joe Cocker records from 1969 are really fun and full of songs you'll recognize, and just that there's no filler. Like everything is just fun. And he's got a great voice and it just lands. It's a time machine in 1969. Number 14. This one is from Jerry Reed. Check out the Jerry Reed episodes on this channel. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. In 1969, the album is Explorers Guitar Country. There's a lot of instrumentals, a lot of like bluegrass picking stuff. Super cool. And Jerry Reed, one of the certified guitar players from Chet Atkins, so certified one of the best ever, along with Mark Knopfler and a couple other guys I can never remember. Emil, I forget. Jerry Reed kicks ass at guitar. The guy is an incredible guitar player. So listen to this one, The Claw, Jerry Reed, Explorers Guitar Country. Up next, number 13 is Stronger Than Dirt from Big Mama Thornton. And 4 stars. I did not expect this album to be that great. Just fun the whole way through. I thought it was just he ain't nothing but a hound dog and that's it. But no, Big Mama Thornton wrote quite a few incredible songs, and I'm not sure if there's a compilation or not. I don't think it is. I think it's a straight up album, but I know that Hound Dog was clearly written years before that because Elvis had covered it in the 50s, correct? I'm pretty sure that was one of his first songs. Anyways, Big Mama Thornton, she knew how to write a song, considering she wrote Hound Dog before Elvis played it, and her version sounded as good, if not better, than Elvis's. So I don't know. She should probably get some credit for that now. Big Mama Thornton, a better album than I thought the whole way through. It's great. Lots of blues rock bangers. Almost kind of a similar sound to the Howlin' Wolf from the same year. A little, almost. Obviously not her voice, but Big Mama Thornton can throw down. She can sing. Okay, up next, number 12, another guy that can lay down, Isaac Hayes, with his album Hot Buttered Soul. 4 stars to say about that. It's Chef. It's Isaac Hayes. And he's pretty cool. And I like this one more than I thought I would too. I thought I'd just get bored with it. Some of the Isaac Hayes albums, I kind of get a little sleepy on me, a little too samey, but not this one. I liked it. 4 stars. Number 11, Ike and Tina Turner, The Hunter. How great was Tina Turner? I mean, she was great the whole way through, but her as a blues singer, she's one of the all-time greatest. And I just didn't quite realize that. I had heard her all of her pop stuff so many times, and a little Rolling Down the River and stuff. Not too much of the older stuff. This album is fantastic, and wow, is Tina Turner ever incredibly good singer, front person. I can wail on the guitar, and yes, he's great on the guitar, but that's all about Tina to me on these. She's unbelievable. Well, Ike's so good. But anyways, next up, number 10, album number 10, 4 stars. I think this is the last of the 4-star territory. So technically all those albums are pretty much tied with each other. I'm going with Taj Mahal. Giant Step is the name of the album. The Old Folks at Home. What a great album. This guy's playing is incredible. His singing is fantastic. All of the band, Jesse Ed Davis Gary Gilmore, Brother Blackwell, Taj Mahal from Harlem, New York. Harlem, one of my favorite places in New York. Like we go up to 4.25 stars. So how I do it is I actually rank all the songs. I take an average of those. And then if I like the album overall or don't really care for the way the album's constructed overall, I add or subtract a quarter point. And so that's what happened in this situation. Anyways, the album is Uncle Meat. The artists are the Mothers of Invention. That's Frank Zappa, Ian Underwood, Roy Estrada. I think Lowell George is out of the band at this point. All kinds of fun. Now he has two albums this year, and this is my favorite of the two. I quite like it. The other one I quite don't. I don't really. Number 8, I'm going with Stand from Sly and the Family Stone. That's 4.25 stars ranked by me, Joepinionated, on this channel. We got Freddie Stone, Sly Stone, Larry Graham, Rose Stone, Cynthia Robinson, Jerry Martini, Greg Errico. Now, this is Sly sort of more in his prime. I know in 1974, I got guff for having his album too high. Definitely a Sly fan. His Ride Going On is easily his best album, but Stand is a great one. Number 7, I'm going with the Howlin' Wolf album by Howlin' Wolf. Howlin' Wolf from Mississippi, legend of blues rock, and just so many other artists. Honestly, they owe so much to Howlin' Wolf. One of a kind voice, incredible guitars, incredible harmonica from Howlin' Wolf. Not boring at all. Really hardcore. Really like hard. Wolf, great. Number 6, I'm going with the supergroup Blind Faith. That's Rick Gretsch, good old Ginger Baker on drums, Steve Winwood vocals and keys, and Eric Clapton on guitar and vocals. Blind Faith supergroup. I think they only made the one album, 1969, and I think there's only like 6-7 songs on there. It's not many songs. Remember the I actually first heard the expanded version overseas in Taiwan. Some guy living at the Formosa hostel had a copy, and the expanded Blind Faith album was fantastic. I had like demos and different versions of it on there. Anyways, an album I've owned many times, and I love watching their live video, and it's quite the melting pot of talent. These guys could have probably made a bunch of albums if things had worked out better. Number 5, first listen for me. I'll listen to this at the end of the time. The Moondog. We have this album at 4.75 stars. Blind Faith at 4.5 stars. Moondog. Lewis Thomas Harden, composer, arranger, and the primary performer, Moondog, originally from Marysville, Kansas. I think he moved over to Scandinavia somewhere because he's sort of obsessed with Vikings. He was blind. He dressed like a Viking, performing in the streets in New York, Washington Square Park, Times Square. He had carte blanche with the biggest orchestras to just walk in and out and just use what he wanted and get people to play stuff because he's just like this mad scientist. Some of these rhythms from the First Nations and from different kind of tribal rhythms that he uses with these classical songs, but then he compresses songs and movements or what would be an hour on a Beethoven performance is compact into 5 minutes, and it's treated like a song. It's one of a kind. It's one of the greatest discoveries of my life for music is this Moondog record. So let me know what you think of it. Maybe I'm crazy. Put it on for dinner music. I suggest it's just classical music. It was written in 1969. There's so many things about it blow my mind. Read up on Moondog too. Number 4, going with Led Zeppelin, and there's 2 albums from this year, and they're both in the top 4. Led Zeppelin, I'm going to Led Zeppelin Uno, the first album, self-titled, is when Bonham and John Paul Jones and Jimmy Page and Robert Plant broke onto the scene and kicked off their 8-album run of incredible albums with only one slip up that is Presence, Led Zeppelin 1. So you get opens up with Good Times, Bad Times, Dazed and Confused, How Many More Times, Communication Breakdown. It's Led Zeppelin 1. That's where it all started, this blues infused rock. rock music from Led Zeppelin, one of the greatest bands of all time. Number 3 comes from one of the greatest bands of all time, Led Zeppelin, with their album Led Zeppelin II from 1969. Yes, that's right. Both their first two albums came out in 1969. Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, John Bonham. So rest in peace, John Bonham. What am I going to tell you about Led Zeppelin 2 that you don't already know? What is and what should never be? Ramble on. A whole lot of the love. Those two first albums just kind of melt into one in my mind sometimes. I do like Led Zeppelin 2 more than Led Zeppelin 1, but they're both fantastic. And I'm not, you got to put them, they're side by side. They're both 5-star albums on this channel. Yeah, that's a 5-star album all day long. All day long. How if Led Zeppelin 1 and 2 are not a 5-star album, then I don't respect your rankings. Number 2, their 5-star album from 1969, self-titled The Band, from The Band. Bobby Robertson, Garth Hudson, rest in peace recently, Garth Hudson, Rick Danko, Richard Manuel, Levon Helm. The Band, one of the most incredible gifts of music ever, is The Band. The Band. We finally lost the last living member, Garth Hudson, the teacher, the guy who taught the other members of the band music as part of his contract in order for him to be in the band. I went in pretty deep with these guys. There's a band episode coming on this channel in March of 2025 called Desert Island Playlist. Also on this channel, I've got my top 20 band songs ranked: Across the Great Divide, Rag Mama Rag, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, Up on Cripple Creek, Rocking Chair, King Harvest. I don't know, one of a kind, one of the best albums ever. It's 1969. Once again, this album would win so many other years, but it's 1969, so it's number 2. Huge fan of the band. Quickly blast off some honorable mentions that just kind of missed. Dusty Springfield, The Beach Boys, 2020. Harry Nilsson's album from 1969. I think that's self-titled Harry. Tommy, The Who. Muddy Waters, After the Rain. Frank Zappa, Hot Rats. I prefer the other one more. The Birds album, Humble Pie. Jeff Beck Group with Beckola this year. James Brown, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Buddy Guy, Left My Blues in San Francisco. 10 Years After, Shh. Joe Cocker, Little Help from My Friends. Miles Davis, The Allman Brothers, Bob Dylan, Nashville Skyline. Wayne Shorter, Spooky Tooth, The Meters, Grand Funk, Creedence with Bayou Country, and the Other Towns Van Sant album, or one of the other ones. Maybe there's more than one. But number 1, one of the greatest albums of all time, Abbey Road from the Beatles, 1969. It's a 5-star. It's a 6-star album. It's a 7. It's infinite star album. It's Abbey Road from the Beatles, quite possibly the greatest album from the greatest band of all time. Done did. Beatles episode on this channel called Desert Island Playlist Beatles, and it's a fun one where we make our own Desert Island playlist for the Beatles, and we can't pick the same songs as the other guys playing the game. Beatles, Abbey Road from George, Paul, Ringo, and John. Come together, something. Maxwell's Silver Hammer, which I now like after watching that documentary. Oh, Darling, Octopus's Garden, one of my favorite Ringo tracks for sure. I Want You, Here Comes the Sun, Because, You Never Give Me Your Money, Sun King, Mean Mr. Mustard, Polythene Pam, Came In Through the Bathroom Window, Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, The End. You got to be kidding me. And just a reminder, Live and Let Live. Check out the playlists on my YouTube music and YouTube channels here from Joepinionated. You can type in Joepinionated 1969, and that should do her. Or just click on the little face icon below. Check out the channel. Yeah, many other episodes similar to this. Sorry, I'm a little low on facts, high on opinions. Respect to the Beatles, Abbey Road. All right, we out.